Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the webinar. We will start at 2 p.m. Central sharp, so please stay tuned in. Hello, Dr. GP.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing today?
Doing all right.
So we'll just give it a couple of minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying we'll just start in a couple of more minutes. We'll give it some time for a few more people to join.
Yes.
All right, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Shane Sinha. I'm the community manager with QuickStart. And with me, I have Dr. Ganpati, Dr. GP Polipka. Dr. GP, he's the chief data scientist for Accenture. He's a published author and best-selling author on Amazon. He has written books on machine learning and artificial intelligence, and he has also recently published another book, and we will be giving away that book, to the people who sign up for the bootcamp program, data science bootcamp program. And it's $100 book, so you'll be getting it for free. And I'll let Dr. GP do his introduction, and then we can continue with the session. In the meantime, please feel free to share your question on the chat or on the Q&A section, and we'll answer your questions, during the event or at the end of the session as Dr. GP seems fit. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to start sharing the screen. I hope the PowerPoint is visible now. Are you guys able to see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sounds great. Welcome back, everybody. And so we have had a few sessions on this, and we're gonna briefly talk about the importance of data science, and also, as you're aware that there are several universities that are partnered with QuickStart that are offering this data science certification. You name it, the type of specialization you're looking. Maybe you're talking about data engineering or data science or machine learning engineering or big data analytics, or talking about cybersecurity or business intelligence, various data analysis roles. You can apply for all of these roles, and there are number of positions available due to the significant rise of AI in the recent times. And you can choose your favorite university based on the specialization that you're looking for in terms of getting towards the particular field that you're looking for. Some people may be interested in, like, building some dashboards, or performing some data analysis and coming up with some data visualization. So then you can go for different type of platforms like Power BI, or you can go for Quicksilver, or you can go for ClickView. There's a number of business intelligence analytics platforms that are available if you're into data visualization. And if you're into data engineering, then you can also go for Azure HD Insight and Hadoop and Apache Spark in combination with Python. There is a separate data science certification for that as well. So it all depends on what you guys are trying to accomplish. And if you're into core programming and you would like to, get hands-on on Python and R, there is a course for Python and R as well, where you can specialize your skills. And if you're interested in digital forensics, where you can perform digital investigations in terms of how a particular hack has occurred, or like, as you might have heard about this Mirai bot that occurred, that was thwarted by FBI. Millions of IoT devices across the states in the world have been compromised due to network intrusion detection technique, where a lot of such incidents occurred by running simply a script that has created a devastating effect for all the edge computing devices. So there are methods and there are ways for you to handle it. And how do you perform the digital forensics to understand such type of hacking attack? How does it originate? Or what are the loopholes that you have? What are the type of malicious cyber actors that are you need to thwart on the, so those type of things you can definitely gain insights by taking a course on the cybersecurity. And universities provide you such type of, for example, James Madison University, they even provide a Master of Science in cybersecurity. So you can get all of that by signing up for data science certification with QuickStart, where you can quickly go for a cybersecurity operating systems, applications, machine learning penetration testing, machine learning cybersecurity, all the tools that you need to have to equip yourself to be a cybersecurity engineer. So it all depends on your passion, your background, or your goals. That's what you're aiming for. And again, the certifications that you're gaining right now have no relevance or anything, because some of the people may be saying, oh, I'm coming from little with no coding background or experience, but I'm a very good data analyst. I understand the data, I understand the master data management, I understand data governance, and such type of things, and where you can perform much better on the data engineering. Then yes, you can choose the data engineering. Looks like we have some question here. So let's see here. Where are the other people? Okay. So yeah, I think we're getting started already. So we have tons and tons of registration. So people will be, dropping in and dropping out. So we are continuing right now. So the other people will join as soon as, you see, more people joining as we go forward. So again, as the community manager for QuickStart, Shane has just suggested that this upcoming book, so primarily will, gear you towards gaining all the foundational machine learning algorithms and the types of machine learning you need to know: supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, and also bio-inspired algorithms, genetic algorithms, all of the algorithms that you need to know, natural language processing, all of that you can gain your insights. And this book will definitely help you to get you all the prerequisites you need before you dive into the data science certification. And you can also parallelly, hone your skills by jumping into this book that will give you a significant introduction to what you're trying to accomplish and how you can get things done. So this book will be provided, as mentioned by the community manager of QuickStart. When you sign up for the certificate, you'll get this book, and it will be, that will cost you, if you're going to buy outside, up to $100. So that you're going to get something where you do not have to invest your, additional money, but that will set you completely all the foundation that you need. So you need a greater foundation for your, um, going into the data science engineering, or you're going into machine learning engineering, all of that you would need. Then again, we're going to take a look at the different types of, platforms we have, and also the different types of career paths that you can choose, right? So you want to turbocharge your data science career, what's the path finder for you? So you can, take a deep dive into different types of the fields that we spoke about slightly earlier, where we talked about, you can take either machine learning or deep learning or reinforcement learning. And again, you want to choose, a plethora of tools, like you're going to go for a Python or TensorFlow or PyTorch, or maybe you're willing to do data science engineering by harnessing the data into Apache Hadoop, Apache Kafka, Apache Spark, Apache Storm, Apache Flink. And with a combination of SQL and NoSQL, you can do the data science engineering. And you can also apply data mining techniques with a combination of mathematics and statistics. Or you can choose your cybersecurity. And again, a number of platforms are available: AWS, SAP, Azure, and all of the cloud computing ecosystems, where you can actually integrate all of your tools, and you can definitely advance your career. This is just a brief introduction of the background that I have. Again, as I mentioned, there are a lot of research papers that I've written other than the books, so it will give you, You're trying to find something on a particular topic, you will find, for example, there are tons of research papers available on, for example, back propagation, or you're looking for forward propagation. You have, again, each of them, you do a backward pass and you do a forward pass. And so you'll get a comprehensive understanding of, how you gear yourself towards getting the required math for this primarily. Maybe you're looking for linear algebra, calculus. So you get the prerequisites. So then when you go for applying that into deep learning, it becomes easier for you to go for such type of implementation of back propagation and forward propagation with chain rule, derivatives, calculus, and all of that. So that will be very helpful for you. Then again, I'm available on social media platforms for you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and LinkedIn. Whichever platform is your favorite, feel free to, just say hi or, ask me a question. I'll be happy to answer you on these platforms and see if I can provide you any suggestion on how you can advance your career. So now we're gonna get into, again, a lot of people might be thinking, okay, is this the right time? There is a pandemic around, and is this the right time for me to launch my career into data science, or do I have to wait for things to clear out? Or, you might be thinking a lot of things on your mind. But again, to be honest, as you can see that, the machine learning applications have been significantly advancing for the reason that there is an exponential growth of big data. So this enormous growth of big data is what is actually helping you to advance yourself into, the careers that you have. So if you take a look at the data that was produced by, the world, according to the IDC and Seagate, 174 zettabytes to 200 zettabytes of data was generated. And 200 will be generated by 2025. And so that would be like 26 tags from Earth to Moon. So that's the type of data we are looking for. And again, the data is generated through proliferation of IoT devices, and the treasure trove of big data is constantly, getting generated through several platforms. You're talking about marketplace platforms. You're talking about social media platforms. You're talking about, several CRM platforms. There are companies that are running different types of platforms that will generate enormous data whenever you conduct transactions online or anything like that. So all of this data will require open source ecosystems like where you can operate and put it in. Maybe you need to pour the data initially into some sort of a data lake or a data mart, and then after that you can apply several types of filters, and you can actually get the data filtered through SQL or NoSQL, and then you can refine your data leveraging Apache Spark, Apache Kafka, and all of those tools. And then you will be able to perform some dashboard analysis, analytics. So you can even do some sort of prototyping with the data from your data lake. So that will give you some understanding of how you can actually gain benefits by gaining insights into the data. So once you see the benefit from it, then you can actually start getting the value from your data, and by building different types of analytics that are suitable for different types of business operations and machine learning operations, DevOps team, DevOps SecOps team, and DevSecOps team. So different departments can be benefited with such type of data. Again, as we spoke about, whether your data is better when you have it on premise, or whether you have it better when you have on cloud computing. Again, there is a cloud computing data science certification available for you. And if you're more interested into cloud computing, yes, you can certainly sign up for that certification, and you can launch a career into cloud computing. Cloud computing also is very important because the cloud computing environment is there where everything is. A lot of companies offer SaaS, which is a software application as a service, and several other companies actually offer platform as a service, PaaS, or companies also offer you IaaS, infrastructure as service, infrastructure as a service. So again, if you want to spin up your cluster, you want to increment the number of virtual machines, or you want to increment number of clusters or the computing rack, or you want to increment your RAM, whatever that you want to increment, you can increment that on cloud computing environments. So it will deliver you a bundle of services and infrastructure as a service. So that's what you can leverage. And there's a lot of positions that are available for cloud computing data scientists that will help you to advance your career into this field of cloud computing. Also very interesting because most of the companies are either already have migrated or in the process of migrating to cloud computing. So cloud computing is taking over the landscape, and there is a need of at least 500,000 computer scientists in data science, and there are only 3,000 applied mathematicians that are available, and the world needs 100,000 talents by 2025. So which is a huge amount of scarcity of demand in demand skills of data that we are looking at. So that's why investment into building machine learning applications is exponentially growing high. So the demand for the data scientists, machine learning, and deep learning engineers is rising high. So again, you can build your applications, whether you're building robotics or you're building machine learning platforms, or you're building any applications with natural language processing, or you're interested in building in computer vision applications or recommendation engines for any of the popular websites like Netflix or Amazon or Airbnb. A lot of companies have built their own recommendation engines. Uber has built their own recommendation engine. So that will be something where the world is looking for building such type of recommendations. And again, the virtual assistants, there are a lot of virtual assistants for driverless vehicles, and the banking, and you're looking at companies like Goldman Sachs into banking. So there are a lot of virtual assistants where you can develop the applications for chatbots, for customer service. There's plenty of roles and positions that are available. And you can also perform speech recognition to recognize the speech and the part of the natural language processing. Or if you're into robotics and you're interested in building heavy industrial applications with smart robotics, then you can also perform gesture control in terms of how do you navigate a robot in an industrial manufacturing environment to move a container from one place to another. So that will tell you how to do it through gesture control. And then there is video recognition. Facebook performs a lot of video recognition. Facebook has built several types of tools for video recognition as well. You can take a look at Facebook research page, so you can see the type of video recognition applications that they have built, and that will help you to launch some of the advancing tools for video recognition as well. So as we spoke about the entire architecture of all these platforms and tools is dependent on the amount of data that is getting generated. And regardless there's a pandemic or not, the data is continuing to grow. And the global market trajectory and analytics for big data is showing currently at 70.5 billion. And this is amid the COVID-19 crisis in 2020. So no matter what has happened with the COVID, there is still proliferation of devices that continues to generate, exponential data. And, we're expecting this to reach 243 billion by 2027. Again, if you take a look at the data that is generated by 1010 Data Inc. and Accenture, Action, Kazina, Cloudera, and a number of other companies have continuously been producing this data on social media platforms, marketplace platforms, and again, the type of collaborative platforms we just spoke about, like we are talking about eBay, we are talking about Amazon or Netflix or Airbnb. All of these platforms are producing a lot of data. Again, if you like to specialize in Linux, there are several applications that are getting released and built, getting built every day. So automotive grade Linux is a separate type of operating system that is built purposely for the automotive and driverless vehicles. And most of the people are running these applications on Windows or Mac OS X. But again, a lot of companies run their servers entirely on the web, leveraging the Linux servers. And again, Linux operating system is completely open operating system. It is not like Microsoft or Mac OS that you cannot touch anything. You cannot suggest what needs to be done to the operating system. Let's say that you would like to add a feature, you cannot add a feature to it. You have to, send it to Windows admin or somebody, and then they're gonna add that feature for you. They would not allow you to do it on your own. But again, Linux is not like that. It's an open source ecosystem, so anybody can modify any code. They see that it's going to significantly improve the performance of the operating system, and you can certainly do that. And if you want to add a feature, you can see that there will be value adding some menu or something. You can do that. It comes through several types of distributions, and a lot of phones, even Android phones, run Linux operating systems, and Chromebooks run through Linux operating systems. And Android itself is actually a variation of a Linux, because it's primarily, a spun up version of Linux, and that's how Android operating system has been built. And then again, there are several Ubuntu, Linux, Christian edition. There's several types of flavors of the Linux operating system that are available. And so you can choose the type of operating system that you want to build. Again, this is going to be helping you, because most of the time you're going to run your machine learning platforms on Linux, and Jupyter laboratory environment, or you're running Google collaboratory environment. It's best that you run it on Linux. It's highly efficient and low latency, and will give you the results right away. And again, especially if you're powering it with GPUs, it's going to be even faster. And there's a lot of machine learning platforms and enterprises that adopt for Linux. Again, if you want to build any special applications for automotive, then you can go for automotive grade Linux, where it's going to help you to build several type of telematics and autonomous driving applications through automotive grade Linux operating system. Again, here you can take a look at the type of operating systems available on Linux, and these are all the types of operating systems that have been built on Linux. Again, if you want to build your own Linux operating system, you can. And if you want to suggest something to the Linux operating system admin, you can, so that they can add a feature, they can improve the performance based on your benchmarking analysis. You show them that your benchmarking shows that here is where there is a latency in the program, and you would like them to address it so that it can run much faster. You can do that. A lot of people have done that, and they have significantly enhanced and modified and changed the operating system on the Linux platform, so that that will help you to improve and boost the performance of Linux. So you take a look at it and see what you can do. And again, there's a more popular type of regulatory and legal compliance that's coming from. So the most important thing for any enterprise to perform in the industry is to have the governance and the risk management and the compliance. Okay, so companies to set a strategy how they're going to operate, and they need to build their risk management models so that they can handle all the risk for that. And again, whether you're talking about healthcare or life sciences or retail, any company requires compliance. So compliance, you have a GDPR, European compliance. So your customers are conducting transactions with Europe. So you would need to have compliance for that particular organization that you're working for, so that if somebody wants to know how this company has arrived at determining about the credit score of somebody, right? Or how did this company arrive at for a hospital, for example, or a clinic, they give some early warning score saying that this person is going to have some acute illness. So, and it turns out that early warning score wasn't true, and the person is not hospitalized and didn't seem to have any acute illness. So, you want to know how did they come to the conclusion that this person is having acute illness. So, for any of these legal and regulatory compliance, is a whole lot of framework on the compliance and the governance and the risk management to mitigate all of this for auditory purposes. So there is something called XAI. So XAI opens up the data science, and basically it powers the field of data science with this type of application, so that the black box style architecture of algorithms that used to invade the market for many years, where people do not understand how this company has arrived at this particular credit score. If it is a financial company or it's a bank, nobody understands how did they arrive at that. Or there's a clinic that tells that, okay, this person has early warning scores. So that's when you need all of these tools for regulatory compliance with the government. So you have tools, for example, SDK, software development kits for like SHOP. It's a Shapley additive explanations from Microsoft Azure machine learning. So they want to give you the interpretability of that data set. So because you're getting the data sets from somewhere, you're cleansing the data sets, you're spending a large amount of time to get the data in a particular form so that people can start applying the machine learning algorithms on it. So how did you choose these data sets? Is there a fairness? Is there a bias in choosing the data sets? So how can the companies tell, what are the best practices and principles that are adopting to keep the data sets unbiased for the public, right? So you got to maintain the trust and reliability of your algorithms that you're building as part of your organization. And it's easier to understand your data sets, and it is easier to interpret them. There's no bias, it's fair data set. So that's when you can implement, the applications that you can build with XAI, which is, again, there are a lot of books available. And you can also take a look at the books for getting some preliminary understanding of prerequisites of how to get, these tool sets and how do you install them. Do you want to install them on Google Collaboratory platform, or do you want to install them on a Jupyter Notebook laboratory environment? So you can take a look at that to get you some prerequisites. And again, once you subscribe to the certifications, then you'll be diving into the algorithms, and you'll be able to build several statistical models, and you'll be able to navigate the enterprise in a way that will benefit the organization to gain insights of how they're performing and what they can expect in the long run. Let's take a look here if anybody has any questions at this stage. Any Q&As? No Q&As at this stage, okay? Okay, so as we just spoke about, when you want to actually, you want to understand how the machine learning works. So basically, the most important thing, again, you will get all of this in the book that we just spoke about. But for your understanding, most of the companies are engaging into supervised machine learning. So basically, as we spoke about, there is label data, and the volume of input data you take as labels, and then you have label Y, and the data you can get that as vectors, and tensors or scalars, what are the formats you're getting in, and then you're going to have labels. Then you're going to build a function x of y, so that will map whatever the input you have, whether it is text or whatever that it is, and it actually maps to the label so that you know what this particular text belongs to and what does it mean. And then you're able to predict the y from the heterogeneous input data with an amount of accuracy when you actually train the machine learning model. And then there is a convergence process that occurs. So that's when you actually see the accuracy of predictions of, then you'll be able to introduce new sets of data sets for your machine learning algorithm, and it will be able to provide you with predictions. And again, a lot of companies are moving into reinforcement learning instead of having their projects implemented through supervised machine learning, or unsupervised machine learning or semi-supervised machine learning. People are moving towards the reinforcement learning, and there are a lot of companies that have been successful in doing that. Again, the reinforcement learning landscape has been built and developed on the mathematical foundations of Markov decision processes. And basically, you can operate in a finite state space, or you can operate on an infinite horizon. It all depends. Like, for example, as you see that there was a Mars Perseverance rover that just landed recently. So it lands into some unknown environment. So it does not know where it is landing, what type of velocity you're dealing with. It's not like, you have a known environment. So it's an infinite horizon. When it lands in there, so it keeps navigating, and it's not like, in a maze or something where you have a finite state space for you to find the door and come out as a solution for your reinforcement learning landscape. It could be infinite horizon. And, that's when actually you would need the reinforcement learning, especially for such type of, type of landing. So as we see here, so, several driverless vehicles are powered with reinforcement learning. And again, the driverless vehicles primarily are powered with reinforcement learning because they understand the patterns of pedestrians, and they understand how the landscape of the road is. And so there are several, and it's a finite horizon. It's not an infinite horizon. But again, they also leverage the LiDAR light detection range technique, so that it will throw the laser pulses on the in the area where it will get any motion of the object, so that it will be able to detect the motion, and then it will be able to operate and navigate in that particular way that where it operates. So again, as we spoke about the UAVs, the unoperated unmanned aerial vehicles that can land on different type of planets. For example, as we spoke about Mars rover or Mars Perseverance, so that can actually land into completely into an environment with no prior knowledge of how that landscape looks like, or about what is the velocity of that place, and all of that. So that's when you can actually leverage the reinforcement learning to build your actions and patterns and rewards. And again, the book that you're going to get as part of the certification, you will get a complete breakdown of all the Bellman equations for reinforcement learning. And by each algorithm, you can go through that, and you can understand how to implement each of them. And there are a lot of coding examples you will find as well with the actual implementations. So you can leverage that, and you can gain a deeper understanding on that. And when you do the certification, you will have a complete comprehensive implementation experience in terms of getting yourself to immediately apply for a job, and you can get a job. And we also have partnered with several universities, as we spoke about earlier. So all of them have campus recruitments, and they're partnered with several corporations. So not to worry about the positions after completing your certifications. Are you going to be in a place where you can actually get a job or not? That will not be a problem. Primarily focus on getting the certification. Primarily focus on harnessing the power of the foundations of algorithms by getting into the book and getting all of these algorithms hammered out, and gain your expertise, and the roles will keep coming. As we said, like, there are currently 100,000 positions available for you. So that would not be any constraint in terms of getting a position for you after you master these books and certification courses. So again, we can see what we can help you with in terms of landing you a job based on the partnerships we have with university campuses and other networks. Our community manager, Shane, has with a lot of partners, so it will help you to get you the position that you're looking for. And as we spoke about, a lot of positions are in demand, and they're actively looking for people. So this is the, basically, the bridge between you and the position, so you can get the certification and gain your prerequisites to the book, and then you're all set. And you can, get into the, in the marketplace, and you can get into the real world of all of the in-demand skills that you have in the data science field, so that you can master your passion and career goals, and you can do that. So again, as we spoke about, the Azure machine learning SDK. So there are different types of techniques for the XAI we spoke about. For example, we're talking about Lime, we're talking about Deep Lift. And again, deep lift is a technique for deep learning. And you can summarize the equation, and you can also build your initial inputs. And if you are processing a large data set of natural language processing, you take the text features as a bag of words, and then you would convert them into vectors, and then you would get the original input space, and then you find the theta, and then you can minimize the line objective function. And you can also define linear function of the binary variable through the additive feature attribution method. And then you can build a summarization equation, and you can apply that. Again, as we spoke about Microsoft Azure, XAI interpretability techniques. So here is where you can get all of this. And in a real world, it won't be anything much different than what you're seeing here. So you have different types of breakdown of the tabular explainers. You have shop, you have mimic, and you have feature permutation. Again, the type of platforms that you can build, as we spoke about, you can build SaaS solutions and software as a service, or where you're rolling this, for example, as a conversational AI service for a banking solution. So you're going to roll out a SaaS solution, and then you also can, build your bot SDK with platform as a service. So you have where you are building your AI and ML project implementation with accelerators. You can also get the bot SDKs from the GitHub. And so there are a lot of open source frameworks that are offered by Microsoft Azure, and you can leverage that completely. And then also you can build your chatbots, and you can support your companies. And again, every company needs chatbot, whether it's a banking or whether it's a retail or life sciences or utilities or energy, it doesn't matter. Every company needs it. So you can definitely, most of the time you might be familiar with a lot of such utilities that you must be seeing on your smartphones, in terms of the Siri or Google Assistant, or different type of tools that you have on your smartphones are already doing the speech recognition, and they're also performing a lot of text mining and data mining, knowledge data discovery, and all of the bot services we just spoke about. So you can certainly master this, and you do have an Azure course specifically, and the certification that will help you. Again, as we just spoke about, so you would get a lot of times you need to understand how you're going to build this, because when you're building in IT, it has a different way of doing things in the IT. So you're going to have to do a waterfall method, or maybe you're doing some sort of agile life cycle of operating procedures. You're basically migrating the data from environment A to environment B, and there you're again rerunning your applications with a different data sets. But for the machine learning projects, it is not the same way that we do through the IT life cycle. It's going to be entirely different. So you're going to still leverage DevOps, which is the philosophical ascendant of ML ops, and ML ops is the descendant of DevOps. And again, when you're building your data sets, you're gonna, in your sandbox or in your the development environment, you're gonna build your training data set, and then you're gonna build multiple shadow training data sets, and you're gonna perform hyperparameter tuning for each of them, so that you're gonna train these machine learning models. And then you're going to build your shadow models for each capability of your target model that you're building for machine learning models. And then you're going to perform Qualcomm depiction of parallel training of, this is basically, a real world project again of Qualcomm, where Qualcomm has implemented this parallel training, and they have built these data sets like this. And then again, based on the situation of their data set and, what data set they would like to deploy, right? Because they have different types of data sets, and they would choose to deploy. So you already have different machine learning models for each type of data set, so that you can actually implement that with this type of procedure. So that's what we call MLOps strategy. So, a lot of companies have been successful. As we are seeing, Qualcomm is the biggest winner of implementing such type of projects. So again, we're going to take a look at Qualcomm again for neural processing engine MLOps workflow. So here they have built a specific neural processing SDK that will allow you to run the network on the QTI devices. So basically, they're going to train these training data sets on several type of platforms like Cafe, Keras, TensorFlow, and so on and so forth. So when you train your data sets with Cafe and Keras and TensorFlow, you're going to build your multiple machine learning models, and then you see whether this is a good enough catch. Yes, and then you're going to go and actually build your statistic weights and biases, and you do your back propagation or your forward propagation, whatever that you need to reduce the error for running this into multiple iterations and multiple epochs and multiple episodes. So then you're going to actually fine tune your machine learning model, and then you're going to leverage the neural processing engine supported devices. And Qualcomm, as we spoke about, already has several APIs that they are built to do this. And then they do a model optimization, and then they build this Qualcomm neural processing engine. Then they apply the rules, and then they apply the quantization and compression, and then they're ready to deploy the machine learning model through MLOps workflow. Again, there are several tool sets that are available. As we spoke, most of these tool sets you'll be leveraging from your certifications. So we're talking about TensorFlow, AWS, or Azure computing platforms. And again, you also have Jupyter Notebook laboratory environment and Google Colab laboratory environment. And you can also work on Apache Spark if you're into data science engineering. And you can also work on Apache Mahout, and you can work on a MATLAB, Python, Keras, a number of tools that are available for you, and there are a number of programming languages. And again, it depends on your background or your passion and your choice of choosing this type of tools that will help you to launch your career. Okay, so let's see if you have any other questions before we move on to the next step of this. So no question, no Q&A at this stage. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at different types of as we spoke about reinforcement learning. A lot of companies already started migrating and start building their applications into reinforcement learning, moving away from the conventional supervised and unsupervised learning, and like you see the reinforcement learning landscape where you can actually build applications for healthcare, life sciences, or Intel has already implemented for handling the sepsis treatment with the reinforcement learning. And MIT has applied this for their research purposes for healthcare and chemotherapy, for clinical trials, dosing regimen selection for cancer treatment. And again, the manufacturing, industrial IoT, robotics, text mining. There's a Fanuc manufacturer, is a robotic manufacturer that has been in the industry for more than a decade, and they have built a lot of robotics with reinforcement learning algorithms, where they have provided this to a number of manufacturing companies. And the robotics, they applied it for gesture control, and they simply pick up an object or a container from the warehouse or a shop floor environment of manufacturing, and it understands that, and then it moves from a place to another place, another location, completely on its own without any manual intervention through neural networks, pattern recognition, a number of reinforcement learning algorithms. We're talking about, again, Google has built robotics with QOpt, a special technique of deep Q learning with on-policy and off-policy reinforcement learning algorithms for industrial robotics. So they perform the object grasping, ambidexterity, so that both hands are pivoting different types of objects, and they are able to, maneuver a lot of stuff on the manufacturing floor. So again, OpenAI has built their industrial robots for IoT and dactyl, that teach the human dexterity, ambidexterity, or finger pivoting, sliding, and gating. And again, the Salesforce has also implemented it for summarization of contextual text generation models to produce highly readable summaries of long text, and a customer relationship platform on CRM. So basically, which is another model of the marketplace platform we spoke about earlier. And so again, if you're into building, like we spoke about, Qualcomm, and again, you're building any Android products, or you're performing your reinforcement learning on ARM Cortex devices, or you're performing your reinforcement learning on FPGA on-device machine learning. So then you need to be equipped with the mobile, frameworks and applications and algorithms that are produced by ARM. The ARM has their own neural networks. It has a computing library. It has the software products. It has the entire ecosystem with TensorFlow, Cafe, PyTorch, and Android, and then API, Onyx APIs, and Cortex Dynamic IQ. Again, it depends on the combination. If you're going for a GPU, then you have ARM Mali, which is very powerful ecosystem for building your hardware applications with machine learning on GPU. If you're going for CPU, then you have ARM Cortex, so you have Dynamic IQ, you have NeoVerse, and then you're going for NPU, you have ARM Ethos. And also, as we spoke about, partnering with several DSPs and several FPGAs and ASICs, application-specific integrator circuits, accelerators, you name it. So you get integrated with all of these type of applications, and you can build your own mobile application powering through, the machine learning for on-device training of reinforcement learning algorithms. And so, you can build all it. So these are all the ecosystems that are available, and you can launch your career and, data science and machine learning by, joining these certifications where there are significant positions are available. So now, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to see if you have any questions here, so that feel free to ask through the Q&A process so that we can answer you. We're going to allocate this and open this session for any questions that you may have. Please feel free to raise your hands if you have questions, or even send a question to the community manager here, Shane, or you can also directly ask that in the Q&A of your session. You can just send the question and we'll get the question here as well.
Hello.
Hi.
Where can we get, so following the conclusion of this meeting, where can we go to get more information on moving forward and selecting the right path?
So primarily, as we spoke earlier, so there is this plate on the.
Who's expect that everything ends badly, so.
Somebody has a question. I hear again another question parallelly.
Hi.
Oh.
Okay. So let's try to see. Okay, we have some question here. Would you recommend Microsoft Windows or Linux for machine learning as per your experience? So Microsoft Windows is where you can actually install the Linux operating system. So you will be able to actually, you can install the Linux on top of Microsoft Windows, and you'll be able to perform your, machine learning applications. You can build algorithms you can build on top of Microsoft Windows by leveraging Linux. So that's the good thing about Linux. So I would suggest that you go for Linux, right? So when you go for Linux, You can build your entire applications on Microsoft Windows, because Microsoft Windows, you can download your Linux Ubuntu, or you can download Linux on top of Mac OS, where you're able to, install, and you can do that. So Linux is the operating system that I recommend, so that you can silently install it on any operating system. So it doesn't have any restriction. It doesn't have any groups. Completely unbiased, open source operating system. So I would recommend to go for Linux. And also, it's free. You don't have to purchase anything. You can just, go for, even building. There are a lot of Linux laptops that are coming up right now. So previously, you have to download, install, and all that, but now you do have a deep learning Linux platforms that are available for you. So you can actually, be able to, you can actually get a Linux laptop, and you can do that. So that's what I would recommend, because it can work with any operating system. It doesn't have any limitation. Oh, okay, so Microsoft Windows, for example, you're gonna, build an application, and then again, there's a portable issue. The Microsoft Windows do not work well with Mac OS. Mac OS doesn't work well with Microsoft Windows. So there are a lot of groups involved here. But if you go for Linux, it works with anything. So I would suggest to go for that.
Thank you for your answer, Doctor.
Can we permit all the people to speak? The community manager, Shane, is it possible?
Yes, everyone is allowed to talk now. They just need to unmute themselves.
Okay, okay. So they can unmute themselves and
Yeah, I thank you very much for the presentation. It was great, and thank you very much for your time.
any questions that you have, any open questions? So I think like just now we heard that like, how do I get started? That was a question we just heard, right? I think it was from, let me see here, if I remember. I don't see the person here.
That was on audio.
That was an audio, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that go to, for that, how do you get started? Very simple. Reach out to Shane, who is the community manager of QuickStart. Just send him an email on how do you get started, and he will give you all the information that you need to, get you started on the particular type of certification you're looking for.
Yes, and we also have our admission advisors for the data science program, Nathan Malik. So he can actually, like assist you. Nathan, if you could please share your contact details on the chat, or if you have anything specific, to share with the users, please feel free to do that.
Surely I can do that. Thank you for this opportunity that given me. Right. The first thing is this, to how to start this bootcamp. The first thing is this, that I can just give you some brief information over here so you can have a clear idea that how it works. First thing is this, that once you are, I'll send you the details on over here in the chat, right? But first, once you start for this bootcamp, right? The first thing is this, that it's a self-paced learning platform, and it's going to be 100% online. And once you are going to be in this boot camp, right, we will assign you with a mentor who will be working with you back and forth, so he can assist you and guide you along, because those are actually like Q&A sessions that we provide. Once you do that, right, those are like every week we provide 2 live sessions, and those sessions are actually where you can just come up with your questions. If you have any kind of a questions coming in and you want to just hop into those live sessions, you can always do that in order to make sure to get started and to learn more. Actually, we provide like 3 ways of assistance, because we need to make sure that we are providing the students the 100% assistance for this boot camp and the course which they're learning as well. The first thing is this, that you have the mentors who will be working with you. The second assistance we provide, that's for the associates, that whenever if you're not available for those mentor sessions, right? You can always schedule a call with your associate in order to get more answers to your questions. Or we do have a third options for you as well, where you have 1,800 plus experts on the same time, that if you have any kind of a question, right, you can just type in your question over there and you can get answers as well. So, that's for the Quick Start platform. We have those access for you, where you can always go ahead and move forward with the learning process. The second part is that it's a 6 months process, but it does not mean that you have to finish your bootcamp in 6 months, because it's a very flexible bootcamp that we provide. So it's going to be something where you can take your time. We know that a lot of people over here who do like full-time job, right? For them, it's like not easy, to cope up with this bootcamp at this point. So what we basically do is this, that we provide you with the access for the bootcamp for a whole 1 year. And once we provide you the access for the bootcamp for a whole 1 year, it means that you can finish your bootcamp at your own pace without any hesitation. So usually the average is where usually people complete the bootcamp in 6 months in order to master it. And once they are been certified, as previously, you can see as well that we are partnered with many universities, right? And what we basically do is this, that once you're certified, you can be certified with that particular university. And then the third option we have, that's where we help you with the job assistance, because we are providing with the 100% job assistance to the students, where they can exactly, because we are working with more than 500 plus companies. So we are actually we have a career counselor department, where they actually work with you in order to get you started and to help you with your with your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, everything, so they can actually get it done, and then we can assist you with a better opportunity into that particular company as well. So with this entire with this boot camp, right, we provide you with the hands-on labs, the practicals online, everything which you need, so you can start this right at very easily, right? You can go step by step, and you can always finish this boot camp at your own pace in 6 months with no hesitation as well. So that's where how the brief information comes in regarding how our program works, because we do have a plan for everyone, right? We have a plan that once we take the student, right, we need to make sure that they're more passionate to work on the data field. If they have, if you have like a more passion to work on the data side, right, and you think that data is something that you always wanted to do, right, then for you, I'm pretty much sure that you can always start for this boot camp without any hesitation, and you can just get started, because every month, right, we are now starting our sessions. So our next session will be started on April 19th, right? So I will share my details on the chat, right, and you can just get back to me directly, and we can just move forward to get you started, and we can process your enrollment as well whenever you think that you're ready to start. So that's how the brief information works. Anything else, Shane, from my side?
No, thanks, Nathan. That was very helpful. Please feel free to share if you have any more questions about the program or about data science. We have a couple of minutes left.
Any other questions? And even if some question that you wanted to ask, but you're not able to, for whatever reason it is, you can always send an email, and you'll definitely get a response positively. If you need a brochure, to take a look at the type of certifications that are available, you'll also get that information as well. So feel free to send an email and ask any questions that you wanted to clarify if the time is not sufficient right now to do that.
All right, we've got another question on the Q&A section, and it's from Harry. And he says, which would be more marketable in terms of position consumption, data scientist or AI?
Well, I mean, so now it's data scientist or AI is almost the same, but again, the data engineering could be slightly different because of the type of tools and the type of processes that are involved. But definitely, if you're into heavy mathematics and you would like to apply, different types of algorithms, then the data scientist is the right position. Or maybe statistics. Again, you want to apply, that will be data scientist. You're more onto applying the tool sets, like for example we spoke about PyTorch, TensorFlow, or Python, and then you want to be a machine learning engineer, you want to be a deep learning engineer, then you go for AI. I mean, the compensation or the number of positions that are available in the market, they are same. I mean, it's not like we have more demand for data scientists and less for machine learning and deep learning engineers. No, it's the same demand we have for both positions, and you will be definitely be able to land a position and either of these skill sets that you would like to pursue. So if you go to this quick start, you will see the different type of average salaries for different type of positions that are available. And again, they all provide equal amount of opportunities for you to, launch your career. They all make the same money, and it's not like there is a significant difference unless you are going for a special type of framework. Then it's different. But again, we also do have a certification on, the complete web development as well, full stack engineers. So that also provides equal amount of salary like AI and data scientists, or even cybersecurity provides the same.
All right, so we have another question from Harry again, and he says, "Who makes more money, AI or data scientist, as an entry level?"
So who makes more money, AI or data scientists? And again, there are a few more questions that I spoke about: full stack engineer and cybersecurity engineer, machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, data scientist, data analyst. These are all the type of positions we have. And data scientist makes the same money as a full stack engineer makes, and the cybersecurity engineer makes the same amount of money as an AI engineer, like machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer makes the money. They all make the same money, even for the position that they would like to get started at an entry level. It's still the same. But as you go further down, and then it all depends on how you would like to expand your skill sets, and the breadth and depth of your skill set. Like you want to go for applied mathematics, or you can go for tool sets like PyTorch. You want to build neural networks, convolutional neural networks, regular neural networks, or you want to build reinforcement learning algorithms, leveraging deep reinforcement learning techniques, Bellman equations. So it all depends how you would like to expand your skill set as you go forward. You'll get more opportunities and you will get more increment. But again, there is no clear answer as to who will get more money. It's they're all similar in market, and they're all getting similar type of entry salary positions for all of these skill set. So again, which programming language do you recommend for non-IT background people? Okay, so non-IT background people who are just getting into the, so again, the question is they would like to do the programming, right? Because if they want to be a machine learning engineer, then they want to go for programming. Or they want to be a deep learning engineer, they want to go for programming. They want to be a data scientist, they want to go for programming. But if they want to do data engineering, there's a position called data engineer. Right? Data engineer deals with all types of Apache Spark, Apache Kafka, Apache Flink, all of this type of Apache Hadoop, and all of these tools. So where you can actually, perform a lot of data engineering, applying different types of techniques, data mining. and different types of algorithms. So for that, you wouldn't even need programming at all. You can do data engineering. For example, if you're running Azure HD Insight, there's a certification for that. You wouldn't have to be doing the programming at all, unless even you can, drag and drop naive Bayes algorithm, you can drag and drop regression algorithm. You can simply build a machine learning workflow with no programming at all. We'll take the data set and we'll apply the technique and you will get that. And again, there are other tools that are available. For example, Knind, K-N-I-N-D. There's a tool called Knind. Completely no coding at all. It's just drag and drop and you're done. You get your machine learning output, accuracy, everything. So again, it depends if you want to do programming or not. And if you do not want, then you can go for all this type of tool sets that I just described. But if you're passionate about programming and you like it, you enjoy it, then you're coming from a non-IT background, you still can go for either go for Python, TensorFlow, or R, or PyTorch. Again, if you're going for R, you're coming with a lot of statistics background, so you can apply all of your statistics knowledge. You can perform quantitative analysis, you can perform your risk analysis, you can do time series forecasting models with R that will help you to achieve your the statistics background. Then you can go for R. That will be very suitable to get started without any programming background to start with. But again, if you want to go for pure programming, you can go for Python. There are a lot of NumPy, Pandas, NLTK, natural language processing libraries available. SkyPy, Pandas. You can all apply all of those libraries from Python. You can go for that. Again, that is a very good question you asked. That's exactly when the book that we just spoke about here comes in handy for you. So all these libraries, tool sets we are talking about, you can go for this book, get acquainted with all of these libraries that we just spoke about, and all of the tool sets, Python, PyTorch, TensorFlow, R. You can get all of that from this book. As you complete this book, you are now completely having the full background of a programmer, and you can now complete any certification in a month or so. So you can do all 4 certifications in a span of 6 months once you complete this book, and that's what exactly allows you to take a deeper dive into all these tool sets, because every library you need, you will find here, and you can apply that. And also you'll have an introduction to linear algebra and calculus, which is very important when we go to build a neural network models and convolutional neural networks and recurrent neural networks and LSTM, or you want to build restricted Boltzmann machines, or you want to build autoencoders and whatnot, or you want to build reinforcement learning algorithms. Everything you're going to get from here. So this is what I recommend for you. And again, you can pick your flavor, whether you're going to go for PyTorch, or you're going to go for R, you're going to go for TensorFlow or Python, whatever that you like and it's your favorite, you can go for that. And previously, there were some differences between TensorFlow and PyTorch, but now they are, almost the same. You can get every functionality. Tensors are available in PyTorch. Tensors are available for your mathematical operations on TensorFlow. But again, PyTorch, you can have to you can run everything on GPU directly. You can just mention that CUDA device and will run it. But if you're going for TensorFlow, you need to wrap each module for running a specific operation on GPU. So again, you will find all of that information in the book that will help you to, so that is definitely a must before you start. So no matter which certification you're signing up for, you're still going to get the book. So that will help you to, launch your certification and allows you to complete quickly. Again, there's no limitation for each certification, and you'll be provided with all of the course curriculum and all the programs, and everything will be available as you enroll into the course. You will have complete time to complete it. Some people complete. I know people complete it in a couple of weeks. I know people complete it in a couple of months. I know people complete it in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Are people who are extremely busy with a lot of things, they complete even in a year. But it doesn't matter. It all depends on how you want to pace yourself to complete the course with the rest of your parallel activities that you're working on your full-time position and a lot of things you're doing. And you might be participating in a lot of communities for data science and so on and so forth. So you can definitely set the time you would like to set, and you'll be able to go for the type of certification and accomplish in the time that you would like to accomplish at your own pace. Both programming types of course, which would be the best to career changing people, just for the start at the moment, not interested in programming. And last, sending this presentation to the participants now. So what we're going to send is a brochure for people who are going to contact our community manager. You get a brochure of all of the certifications and the type of universities and the type of specializations you can gain. And again, if you have any specific question on any of the slide of this particular slide, you can feel free to ask. And most of the presentations you do get, if I'm giving a conference, for example, on reinforcement learning, you'll get the entire presentation PDF. You can take a look at it. It will be also hosted on YouTube, and I believe this will be hosted on YouTube as well. So you can actually replay and see all of the stuff that we just spoke about, and you can go through all of this on the YouTube. So you will get that. I mean, is that right assumption, Shane, that they're going to be able to also go through this on YouTube?
Sorry, go through what?
Can they see this on YouTube?
Yes. This
that,
will be available on YouTube, but it'll be in a couple of days. But once it is done, we'll email you the link.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So exactly, so we will be able to send you the YouTube link as well, so that you can go through the entire thing, and you will be able to basically go through specific sections where you wanted to focus more and see like how that benefits you and all that. You can certainly go through those areas of interest, so that and still your questions are, you need some clarifications, you can, because they're saying that for career changing people, just for the start at the moment, not interested in programming. Okay, so then there is a certification, Azure HD inside as the Azure certification. You can go for that, or you can go for cybersecurity. There's not much of a program. There might be some amount of programming still. It can be completely done away with it, but again, it's not like a core programming component that you're going to have like for you taking a certification with R or Python. That will be a deeper dive into programming. But otherwise, if you're going for a data engineering certification, or you're going for any of other types of cybersecurity certification, there will be less programming. But again, when you're saying machine learning penetration testing, that is not a testing that we conduct in IT world. Penetration testing is a highly sophisticated technical penetration testing you perform in cybersecurity. Comes with so many tools. You have network sniffing to see what's going on network, and you have a lot of things that you can detect. So you can see the packets of data transmitting through, and what type of components you have. Everything you can get that from the penetration testing. It's called testing, but it is actually the highly technical. It's not really the ID testing that we have it. But if you're interested, not much of a programming, but you want to take a digital forensics or something like that, I would suggest that you go for cybersecurity. There's a lot of demand for cybersecurity, for governance, risk management, as well as for the compliance. And a lot of companies are trying to thwart these attacks like Mirai bot and all that. There are other industrial IoT systems, devices. So yeah, definitely would suggest to go for cybersecurity certification if you're not much into programming. That's not the area that you would like to go in future. You want to go for, then you should go for cybersecurity certification. Yeah, you will get a brochure, and you will. Yeah, so Shane is going to share with you that information on the.
Yes, so the program cost is like around $7,900, and we've got different financial assistance plans as well. So you could apply for that, and Nathan will reach out to you, or you could reach out to Nathan. His number and email address is there, so he can help you out with the enrollment process. Sure, not a problem.
So, when we are all good, then we have all of the questions that once training is done, is there a job placement? Yes, there is a job placement. As I spoke about, already a quick start is there from decades. I mean, it's a highly educational and entrepreneurial company that have been launching these courses from decades. And as I understand, the CEO is very passionate about launching these educational programs that he has been launching for several decades. So he already has partnered with so many companies and enterprises that you can possibly think of, other than the universities that we are talking about. So job placement is not a problem. You will certainly be a position for various positions that are available in the market, and you can certainly will be able to get a job. So again, as I mentioned, so that would not be a problem.
So yes, basically we have a dedicated career services team, like that profiles you with LinkedIn profile building, resume building, pos- placement, interviews, internships, and so on.
A lot of opportunities available in that regard, so I wouldn't think that would be any constraint at all. So in my understanding, I mean, we just heard from, Nathan, and, based on what we heard, again, I would like to quote Nathan here. He said, it is basically 100% job guarantee. That's what exactly he said. So to answer my question, I would quote Nathan, and I would say you're going to complete the training and you have a 100% job completion.
Right, I guess that concludes it. Thank you so much, Dr. GP, for taking out the time and helping us out. And thank you, everyone else, for joining this event. We'll be having another session next month, and we'll make sure to invite you to that event. And if you have any queries, questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Nathan, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you, Kenya.
Right?